Greenland looks remote and frozen, but in global politics it is becoming one of the most important islands on Earth today. This vast Arctic landmass sits at the crossroads of geography, military strategy, future shipping, and long-term resource competition. To understand Greenland, you have to look beyond the ice and see history, economics, and power all meeting in one place. Greenland lies between North America and Europe, facing both the Atlantic and the Arctic, which makes its position unusually strategic. For centuries, it seemed isolated, but in modern geopolitics, isolation can become strategic advantage rather than weakness. Greenland entered world history through Norse exploration, when Viking settlers reached its coasts and built fragile communities on the edge. But Greenland's deeper story belongs to the Inuit, whose descendants shaped life there long before modern strategic competition began. Later, Denmark extended colonial control, tying Greenland into a wider kingdom and a broader network of Arctic administration. Today, Greenland governs many of its own affairs, but it still remains an autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark. Economically, Greenland is not mainly powered by mining yet. Its current backbone is still the fishing industry. Fisheries are the island's most important trade, making seafood exports central to jobs, income, and day-to-day economic stability. Tourism also matters, especially as travelers are drawn to glaciers, fjords, Arctic wildlife, and Greenland's stark natural beauty. But the world's biggest long-term interest is underground, in Greenland's potential reserves of critical and strategic minerals. Those minerals may be valuable, but mining in Greenland is extremely difficult because of distance, weather, infrastructure, and cost. Even so, rare earths and other critical materials matter because they support batteries, clean energy, electronics, and defense industries. Climate change is also changing Greenland's significance because melting ice can expose land, resources, and new Arctic access routes. As Arctic waters become more navigable, Greenland gains value as a waypoint in future northern shipping and logistics networks. Geography also gives Greenland military importance, especially in the Arctic approaches between North America, Europe, and Russia. That is where Pituffik Space Base comes in, the key U.S. military installation on Greenland's northwest coast. Pituffik supports missile warning, space surveillance, and broader Arctic defense missions that matter to both the United States and NATO. This helps explain why Washington keeps focusing on Greenland. It is about security, positioning, influence, and future access. And this is not new. The United States has eyed Greenland in different ways for decades. Today, the Arctic is also shaped by rivalry with Russia and concern about China's longer-term presence and access. Greenland's mineral potential adds another layer because control over supply chains is now a major part of geopolitical power. But Greenland is not an empty chessboard. Its people and leaders have their own political voice and priorities. Denmark also remains central because sovereignty over Greenland still sits within the constitutional structure of the Danish kingdom. So the United States cannot simply take legal control over Greenland as if it were unclaimed territory. What Washington often seems to want most is deeper strategic access, influence, and partnership on defense and resources. That is why Greenland matters so much today. Its economy, location, and future potential all intersect in the Arctic. Greenland is not just a frozen island. It is a test case for the future of power in the North.